TOEFL! Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck!
Please read through the directions or skip ahead. Passage number 1. Listen to a conversation between a student and a librarian.
Hi, excuse me. Do you have a moment to help me with something?
Of course. What can I help you with today?
I'm working on a research paper for my psychology class, and I need some assistance with citation styles. I'm a bit confused about when to use APA versus MLA.
I'd be happy to help with that. APA and MLA are two of the most common citation styles, each used for different academic disciplines. Do you know which one your professor prefers?
He mentioned APA in the syllabus, but I'm not entirely sure. I want to make sure I'm following the correct guidelines.
If the syllabus specifies APA, then you should use that style for your paper. APA, which stands for the American Psychological Association, is typically used in the social sciences, including psychology. MLA, or Modern Language Association, is generally used in the humanities, such as literature and philosophy.
That makes sense. Can you walk me through the basic differences between APA and MLA citations?
Certainly. In APA style, in-text citations include the author's last name and the year of publication, like this: Smith, 2020. The reference list at the end of your paper should be titled References, and entries are listed alphabetically by the author's last name.
Got it. And how about MLA?
In MLA style, in-text citations include the author's last name and the page number, like this: Smith, 23. The works cited page is titled Works Cited and also lists entries alphabetically by the author's last name. Additionally, MLA typically requires the medium of publication, such as print or web, at the end of each citation.
I see. Are there specific formatting rules I should be aware of for the overall paper in APA?
Yes. APA format generally requires a title page, an abstract, and specific headings within the paper. The entire document should be double-spaced with 1-inch margins, and a standard font like Times New Roman size 12 is recommended. Also, APA uses a running head on each page.
Thanks for the detailed explanation. I also heard something about citation generators. Are they reliable for APA formatting?
Citation generators can be helpful for creating citations quickly, but it's important to double-check their accuracy. They may not always follow the latest APA guidelines or handle complex sources correctly. I recommend using them as a starting point and then verifying the citations against the official APA manual or reliable online resources.
That's good to know. Where can I find official APA guidelines if I need to reference them?
You can access the official APA publication manual if your library has a copy. Additionally, the APA website offers free resources and tutorials. Our library's online databases also include guides and examples for APA formatting.
Perfect. I think I have a better understanding now. One last question. How do I cite a website in APA?
To cite a website in APA, you'll need the author's name, the publication date, the title of the web page, and the URL. For example, Smith, J. 2020, June 5. Understanding Citation Styles. Psychology Today. Make sure to italicize the website name and ensure the URL is complete and functional.
Thank you so much for all your help. I feel more confident about formatting my paper correctly now.
You're welcome. If you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to stop by or reach out via email. Good luck with your research paper.
I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
What is the primary purpose of the student's visit to the library? According to the librarian, in which academic disciplines is MLA style typically used? Which of the following is a correct in-text APA citation format, as mentioned in the conversation? Why does the librarian advise double-checking citation generators? Which two elements are necessary for citing a website in APA style based on the conversation? Passage. Number 2. Listen to part of a talk in an anthropology class.
And as we delve deeper into the complexities of human societies, it's essential to understand the role that kinship systems play in shaping social structures. Today, I want to focus on matrilineal societies, which are often less discussed compared to their patrilineal counterparts. In matrilineal societies, lineage and inheritance are traced through the mother's line. This means that property, titles, and family names are passed down from mothers to their children. One prominent example of a matrilineal society is the Minangkabau people of West Sumatra, Indonesia. The Minangkabau are the world's largest matrilineal society, where women hold significant authority in both the household and the broader community. What's fascinating about the Minangkabau is how their matrilineal system influences various aspects of their culture, including residence patterns, inheritance practices, and even political leadership. For instance, after marriage, men do not move to their wives' households. Instead, women remain in their natal homes and men visit their wives. This system fosters strong bonds within the maternal family and ensures that property remains within the mother's lineage. Furthermore, inheritance in Minangkabau society follows a clear matrilineal path. When a family owns land or other significant assets, these are inherited by the daughters rather than the sons. This practice empowers women economically and ensures that they have a central role in managing family resources. Another intriguing aspect is the political structure. While men often take on leadership roles, their authority is typically balanced by the influential position of women in the community. Women elders, known as maligay, play a crucial role in decision-making processes and the preservation of cultural traditions. Understanding matrilineal societies like the Minangkabau provides valuable insights into the diverse ways human societies organize themselves. It challenges the often patriarchal assumptions prevalent in many cultures and highlights the importance of female agency in social and economic spheres.
What is the primary focus of Professor Martinez's lecture excerpt? According to the lecture, how do men typically maintain their households in Minangkabau society after marriage? Which of the following is a significant role of women in the Minangkabau society, as mentioned by Professor Martinez? What term does Professor Martinez use to refer to the women elders in the Minangkabau community? Which two aspects of Minangkabau culture are influenced by their matrilineal system based on the lecture? Passage number 3. Listen to part of a lecture in an economics class.
And that brings us to the concept of inflation, which we touched on at the end of last week's discussion. Now, recall that inflation is the general increase in prices and fall in the purchasing value of money. However, it's not always as straightforward as it might appear. On one hand, moderate inflation can signal economic growth because it often means there is healthy demand for goods and services. On the other hand, high or uncontrolled inflation can erode consumer confidence and destabilize financial markets. Historically, economists have observed that certain periods of controlled inflation coincide with robust economic activity. For instance, during the post-war economic boom in the mid-20th century, countries that experienced a moderate rate of inflation also had rising wages and significant technological development. In contrast, extreme cases like hyperinflation can undermine an entire economy in a remarkably short period. Let's also consider the relationship between inflation and interest rates. Central banks, such as the Federal Reserve in the United States, often adjust interest rates to manage inflation. When inflation is on the rise, central banks might increase interest rates to discourage excessive borrowing and spending. Conversely, if inflation is too low, or if there's a risk of deflation, interest rates might be lowered to encourage borrowing and stimulate economic activity.
Professor, could you clarify how changes in interest rates actually impact everyday consumers? I understand the basic principle, but it still feels somewhat abstract.
That's an excellent question, Alan. Essentially, changes in interest rates affect the cost of borrowing. When interest rates go up, loans, like mortgages or car loans, become more expensive, which can discourage consumers from taking on large debts. Similarly, businesses may hold back on investments if borrowing costs are high. On the flip side, when interest rates go down, borrowing becomes cheaper, which can encourage both personal consumption and business expansion. This dynamic helps regulate the speed of economic growth and, in turn, influences inflation. Now, I also want to discuss the concept of real wages during inflation. If wages don't keep pace with rising prices, consumers lose purchasing power. This is especially significant in sectors where wages are fixed by long-term contracts. However, in a healthy economic environment, moderate inflation often accompanies wage growth, meaning that while prices rise, incomes tend to keep up. To summarize, understanding how moderate inflation, interest rates, and wage growth interact is key to understanding the broader economic picture. Economists continue to debate the ideal rate of inflation, but most agree that some level of inflation is preferable to deflation, which can lead to reduced production, layoffs, and a stagnating economy. Next time, we'll explore how inflation expectations themselves can become self-fulfilling prophecies. For now, let's turn to a brief comparison of inflationary trends across different world economies in the past decade.
What is the main purpose of the excerpt from Professor Erica's lecture? According to Professor Erica, which of the following is a possible consequence of low interest rates? Which of the following statements does Professor Erica mention as reasons why moderate inflation can be seen as part of a healthy economy? What does Alan ask Professor Erica to clarify? What does Professor Erica imply about the role of interest rates in managing inflation? Which of the following best describes a scenario Professor Erica warns about if wages do not keep pace with inflation? Passage number 4. Listen to a conversation between two students on campus.
Hey, Elizabeth, got a minute? I was looking for you because I know you're involved in the planning committee for the International Cultural Festival next week.
Oh, hi, Sean. Sure, I've got time. The festival has been on my mind constantly. There's so much to do, but it's one of my favorite events on campus. How can I help?
Well, I was wondering if you could fill me in on the latest details. I heard there's going to be a performance area for traditional dances from different countries and a bunch of food stalls featuring international cuisine. Is that all confirmed?
Absolutely. We've got students from 8 different cultural clubs signed up to perform. Some will dance, others will do music or short theatrical sketches. And yes, the food stalls are a huge draw every year. Each club will prepare dishes representing their region.
That sounds amazing. I volunteered last year just to help out, but it turned out to be one of my favorite campus experiences. This time, I'd like to do more. Maybe coordinate or something? I'd love to be more involved.
That's great to hear. Actually, we still need volunteers to help set up the booths the night before. Also, we're recruiting stage managers for the performances. A couple of students had to drop out due to midterm conflicts, so we're pretty short-staffed.
If we don't find enough people to handle the setup and the backstage tasks, we might have some hiccups on the day of the event.
Right, exactly. Between scheduling rehearsals, assigning dressing rooms, and organizing the sound and lighting, we have more responsibilities than ever.
So, how are you handling promotional stuff? A lot of people on campus still don't seem to know about the festival.
Yeah, that's another challenge. We've posted on social media, hung flyers in most academic buildings, and contacted department heads to make announcements in class. Still, we need more engagement. If you have any ideas, that'd be awesome.
Let's see. Maybe we can film a quick promotional video featuring snippets of dance rehearsals, short interviews with students cooking special dishes, and maybe a sneak peek at the decorations. We can post it on the student portal and class forums.
Ooh, that's a fantastic idea. People love seeing behind-the-scenes stuff. It might encourage them to drop by and sample the different cultures. And the food, of course.
Exactly. After all, who can resist free food samples, right?
True, the promise of good food always helps. So if you can manage the video project, I'll make sure the clubs are ready for filming. And about your involvement, if you want a more formal role, we're holding a volunteer training session on Friday afternoon in the Student Union. You can sign up and learn about the various tasks we need help with.
Perfect. I'll be there. I'm really excited to see all the cultures come together. It's one of the reasons I chose this university. There's always something global going on.
Same here. And if you have any other ideas, like for music, decorations, or sponsors, just let me know. We want to make this the biggest festival yet.
Sounds like a plan. I'll catch you Friday at the training session. Then we can talk more. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Anytime, Sean. See you soon.
What is the main topic of the conversation? What does Sean imply when he says this?
If we don't find enough people to handle the setup and the backstage tasks, we might have some hiccups on the day of the event.
What does Sean imply when he says this?
After all, who can resist free food samples, right?
How does Elizabeth plan to address the issue of low awareness about the festival? According to the conversation, why is the organizing committee short-staffed? What does Elizabeth suggest Sean do if he wants to get more involved? Passage number 5. Listen to a conversation between a student and a professor.
Hi, Professor Williams. Do you have a moment?
Hello, Sandra. Yes, come on in. How can I help you today?
Thanks. I'm having a bit of trouble deciding which electives to take next semester, and I was hoping you could offer some guidance.
Of course. What are you currently majoring in?
I'm majoring in environmental science, but I'm also really interested in public policy.
That's a great combination. Have you considered taking any courses that bridge both fields?
Yes, actually. I was looking at environmental policy and urban planning, but I'm not sure which one would be more beneficial for my career goals.
Both are excellent choices, but it depends on what specific area you want to focus on. If you're interested in the legislative side and creating policies to protect the environment, environmental policy would be more aligned with that.
That makes sense. I think I'm more inclined towards the policy-making aspect. Also, I noticed that urban planning requires a project that might take a significant amount of time. I'm worried about balancing it with my other courses.
That's a valid concern. Urban planning is indeed more project-intensive. If you decide to take environmental policy, you might have a more structured workload that aligns well with your current course load.
I agree. Also, I'm considering my internship next summer, and I believe environmental policy might better prepare me for that.
Definitely. It would provide you with a strong foundation in understanding how environmental regulations are developed and implemented, which is crucial for many internships in that area.
Another thing I'm unsure about is how to meet the prerequisites for the upper-level courses I'm interested in. For example, advanced environmental management requires environmental policy as a prerequisite.
Good observation. If you take environmental policy this semester, it will satisfy the prerequisite for advanced environmental management. It's always a good idea to plan your courses in a sequence that ensures you meet all necessary prerequisites for the courses you want to take in the future.
Right. I also wanted to ask about course registration dates. I heard some courses fill up quickly. Is there anything I can do to ensure I get into the classes I want?
Yes, it's important to register as early as possible. Some departments also have waitlists, so if a course is full, you can add yourself to the waitlist and potentially get in if a spot opens up.
I see. Should I also be aware of any university policies regarding course changes after registration?
Yes, There's an add drop period at the beginning of the semester where you can make changes without penalty. After that, you'll need to obtain permission from your academic advisor or the department head to make changes. It's best to finalize your schedule before the add drop deadline to avoid any complications.
That's helpful. Thank you. Lastly, I was wondering if there are any workshops or resources available to help students with course planning and registration.
Absolutely. The Academic Advising Centre offers workshops on course selection and time management. Additionally, they have one-on-one advising sessions if you need personalised assistance. I can provide you with their contact information if you'd like.
That would be great. I think attending one of those workshops could really help me get organized.
I highly recommend it. They can also help you explore other elective options that might interest you. Let me know if you need any further assistance with your course planning.
I will. Thank you so much for your time and guidance, Professor Williams. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Sandra. Good luck with your course selection, and feel free to reach out if you have any more questions.
Thanks, I will. Have a great day.
You too.
What is the conversation mainly about? What does Sandra imply when she says this?
I'm worried about balancing it with my other courses.
What does Sandra imply when she says this?
Another thing I'm unsure about is how to meet the prerequisites for the upper-level courses I'm interested in.
According to the conversation, why is the organizing committee short-staffed? How does Elizabeth plan to address the issue of low awareness about the festival? Which two statements are true about the university's policies on course changes after registration based on the conversation?
This is your answer key for passages 1 through 5. Remember to focus on the main ideas and tone of the lecture. Understanding the speaker's perspective will help you choose the right answers. Take notes on key details and listen for any changes in topic. These cues will guide you through each question and improve your overall score. And don't forget to level up!